Welcome to our daily Forex market analysis, and this is for trading on October the 27th, 2020. Just a quick disclaimer here before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. As usual, we'll start off by taking a look at our calendar here. So before we dive into the news, so something we need to keep in mind here. So what's going on right now? The numbers are going up around the world, so virus numbers. So we, excuse me, we have seen an increase in numbers in Europe as well as the US. US is at the highest level yet at 82,000 new cases. And there's again, China has had one of their largest outbreaks, and then Italy has put restrictions on. So Italy had over 21,000 cases. A week ago, they had just 10,000. So the number of cases have doubled. And so they're going into partial lockdown. So where they're basically closing certain things and they're locking down in terms of the hours. They're reducing the hours in restaurants and stuff like that. Spain also going into a national curfew, actually. So between, so they're going from 6 a.m. to 10, 11, tighter lockdown. So basically, so 6 p.m., no, 11 p.m. to 6 a.m., I guess would be the correct one. So, so basically, we are seeing an increase in the numbers, and with the winter coming here, we are just getting into the winter here, and the winter months are worse for the virus. So just like the flu virus, this is kind of belongs to the same family. So winter months are bad, and this kind of puts a negative focus on all the different, basically different economies around the world. So, so this is not so good, and that's one of the reasons we are seeing a drop here. And then another thing to keep in mind would be also we are just over a week away from the US elections, and that's additional risk that's being added to the markets. So all in all, there's concern in the market. So the sentiment is negative right now. Okay, so in terms of what's coming up, in terms of our news here, we have durable goods orders here for the US, and then consumer sentiment numbers here. If we see a drop in this, that would be negative for the markets here. So we could see markets drop more if this number drops here. We also have CPI numbers here for Australia. So Australian dollar has been more resilient than some of the other ones here. But if we start to see the data drop or the numbers drop for CPI here, then we're likely to see a drop in Australian dollar as well. So let's go on to the charts here. As usual, we'll start off with our euro dollar. So for the euro dollar here, we see that price has been holding below this resistance level here. So it's been 4 days now where it's held. So this was a strong support resistance level. It just couldn't go through last time it was here. And now, as we can see here, it has that slight downward bias here. So bearish bias for euro dollar, it's still holding. So as long as it continues to hold, that is bearish. Now, in terms of a pullback, I'll take a look at 1.1840 here for potential pullback, and then looking for a further drop here. So bearish bias for euro dollar. In terms of the targets here, first target is 1.1780 level. And then below that, we are looking at 1.1720. So bearish bias here for euro dollar. Pound dollar here, this one has dropped as well. So this big move to the upside is getting filled at the moment. So bearish bias here as well. And in terms of the targets here, first target is 1.2930 and then 1.2870 back into the space again. So bearish bias here for pound as well. Aussie dollar here, this one we see price has dropped, but the move hasn't been that much. However, as we can see here, price is holding below this support resistance level at 0.7150. So looking for price to drop further here. 0.7120 would be the target level here, so bearish bias. And as we can see here, price has been making lower highs, so overall bias remains to the downside for Aussie dollar as well. New Zealand dollar here, this one has also held its own. However, same thing here as well. We see prices still struggling with this area, and we have a bit of a head and shoulders going on here. So this is our left shoulder. We have the head on the top, and now it's forming the right shoulder here. So it's not complete. So if it holds here, looking for price to drop back down towards the bottom of the range here, which is 0.6550. So bearish bias for New Zealand dollar as well. Dollar CAD here, dollar CAD is holding it, went into this support level here. Now, one thing to keep in mind with the Canadian dollar is dependent on oil, as oil is a big export for Canada. And if we start to see the virus cases spike and we see that the economies are going back into lockdowns and stuff, that will be bad for oil, because oil demand has already been low and the lockdowns cause oil demand to go down. And I think it was also one of the countries is going to be producing an additional 800,000 barrels per day. Libya is going to be producing an extra 800,000 barrels per day of oil. So the oil supply is increasing, and if the demand decreases, this is negative for oil, which means it will be negative for Canadian dollar as well. And hence we have seen this this big move to the upside. Price is holding here, so I am looking for a further move to the upside here. Now, do keep in mind, it is into resistance, or it's coming close to the resistance. So watch out for this resistance. It's been fighting with this for a while, so watch out. But bias is bullish, and next target here is 1.3250. And once it gets through that, we're looking at 1.3320. So bullish bias here for dollar CAD. So the move that I'm anticipating would be something like this. And then we just have to be careful with this particular support resistance level, because as we can see, it struggled at this several times here. So just watch out for that, but bias is bullish for dollar CAD. All right, so let's take a look at our commodities, starting with silver here. This is looking bearish and bias is still bearish. Next target is 23.50 here. Price has rejected the high of the range, so looking for a move back down here. This is the move I'm anticipating. So target here is 23.50 for silver. Gold here, gold also. Gold is a neutral right now. So we have two back-to-back neutral candles here. So gold is interesting. So we have seen gold move with the stock markets, but gold is also considered a safe haven. So we could see gold move in the opposite direction. Right now, it's kind of in the holding pattern. It's neutral for the time being. If it continues to drop, we may see it go towards 1873, but watch out for gold to change its direction and become safe haven. So if the market starts to drop quite a bit, we could see gold turn around. But we'll have to just keep an eye on this one here. Neutral bias, target would be 1873 here. Oil is dropping, and part of the reason behind the drop in oil here is because of the resurgence of the virus cases. So with this one, bearish bias here and looking for a drop. We may get a pull back into 39.30 and then looking for a move back down towards 36.75. So bearish bias here for oil. Copper is looking bearish as well. Next target is 3.01, and below that we have 2.98. Nice bearish candle close, so looking for a further move to the downside here. Bitcoin here, Bitcoin is holding here, and today's candle close is neutral here. Now Bitcoin has had some nice positive news which has pushed it higher, but if it doesn't break through the high, we could see a move back down towards 12,600 or even further to the downside here. So for now, the bias is neutral. It's just in a holding pattern. The candle for the day is completely neutral at the moment. Now, should it go through the resistance, once it breaks out, then we're looking for it for this one, for the next target here at 13,800. So right now it's in the holding pattern. So we need to see a break either through the resistance or through the support. If it breaks through the support, this move here is likely to get reversed. So neutral bias for Bitcoin. S&P 500, we have seen a drop here as we get closer to the elections here. The market is likely to get more volatile here. So bearish bias here, the combination of number of cases going up, as well as the US elections, upcoming US elections, which are just about a week away here. All of that is adding to the risk sentiment in the market here. So we are seeing risk aversion in the market, which means the stock market drops. So bearish bias, next target is 33.40. Now we may get a pullback into 34.20 and then a drop from there. So bearish bias here. This is what I'm looking for. 33.40 here. Nasdaq here, same thing. We saw a drop. Now price did break through the support level here. Excuse me, but still looking bearish. It did pull back. The problem here is the spike was a little too strong here. So it's right into the support resistance level. We may see a bit of a move higher into 11,580. But then looking for a drop. So the first target here would be the base of today's candle, which is 11,365, and then 11,200 back into the support level here. So bearish bias for Nasdaq here. And Dow Jones here also looking bearish. The move was quite volatile. The problem with moves like this is they can get filled. Excuse me. So that's what we need to watch out for here. But overall, bearish bias, next target is 27,250. DAX here, drop in DAX as well. We are back into the support, and it did spike through that. So bearish bias here again, but it could pull back all the way into 12,320. So keep an eye on that level there, but overall bias still remains to the downside. So we may see a retest of this level and then another drop. So target here is 11,950. So bearish bias for DAX as well. And FTSE here, this is also looking bearish. Next target is back into the support level at 5,700. So this is overall still maintaining that downward trend here. So FTSE is also bearish. And then Nikkei here, Nikkei is bearish, is right into that support level here. So this is looking bearish. Next target here is 23,200 back. Sorry, back into the support here. Now keep in mind it is into the support, has not broken through the support yet. So we need to see a break for this to go to the next level. It's been stuck in this range for quite some time. Now we do have a, well, comparatively, we have a good candle close. So looking for a continuation here, and we may get this type of a move here. So target here is 23,200. So this is bearish as well. So that's it for now. We have to watch out the volatility in the market and the risk sentiment. It can go back and forth. So just be mindful of that. And any kind of resurgence in the number of cases is likely to be negative for the stock market. So that's it for now. Have a wonderful trading day, and I'll be back again tomorrow. Bye for now.